This is the original garden box I made. It inspired me to make a larger, more improved area to grow things in. Hi, I'm glad you're visiting my little backyard. My name is Randy, and as an amateur gardener, I make a lot of mistakes, but with your help, I should be able to get this garden finished. Fortunately for me, a friend of mine, Colleen, was visiting one day, and she suggested that I stop what I'm doing and put it to video, and also that I would inspire people to maybe finish their projects or start a new one. Now, to continue the update, I'd like to explain about these garden boxes. What I already decided was I was going to have 3 boxes, because that's what I had here before. They were small and they were not great, so they kind of fell apart. But now I had to decide how many feet I had, how high the boxes were going to be, and how big they were going to be. And as you guessed it, I made a few mistakes along the way, but as you can see, they got made anyway. These cement blocks were a good idea. They allowed me to make a square out of some scrap wood and place them where I wanted them. Before I added the 2x12 boards, which I think are pretty attractive, by the way. Next thing I had to make a decision on was how many feet away each box was going to be, and I decided on 4, and that turned out to be a bit of a problem. You see, what I wanted to do was tie the fence post to the garden post using this brace here for stability, and also add this header up above me for netting and string to let the garden grow up the netting. The problem is between the fence posts was 8 feet. That turned out to be trouble. That's why we ended up with this big pile of dirt here, because originally this was going to be the 3rd box, and the sand, as you notice, only comes up to here. So we have now an 8-foot section between the boxes, which is very handy and a happy accident, because now we have an area to put like patio furniture or a barbecue or something like that. Let me know what you think. I think it's probably going to be patio furniture, whatever. But the other thing we're going to do is put in rubber tile and all the way through, maybe. Or what do you think? Maybe some patio stone. We could put patio stone through here. That kind of be pretty. Let me know what you think. Oh, that's right. The reason why I'm bringing up the rubber tile is because the next video is going to be about that, and that's a good subject. Here's another surprise. The space down here was not intended. I didn't allow for how high the cement blocks would be from the ground, and now I had to fix it. What I decided was to use a 2x6 for the bottom spaces that had smaller area to fill. This was fairly easy, just a straight cut and back outside to put it in place and screw it to the 2x12 above. The next part proved tricky. I tried to cut a template using wood, and I knew that I had to use a 2x12 board because the gap was too large for a 2x6. It was supposed to match the angle of the cement blocks so the board would slip in tight. My first try didn't quite work, so I went for a couple of more tries. I don't mind saying I got a little frustrated. If you don't succeed, keep at it because you're stubborn. So after all that frustration of trying it doing that other way, over the bench and down at the box there, I finally just made a little jig out of cardboard, and I'm gonna just transfer the angle onto the board, and hopefully all that's gonna work. So there you have it. I transferred the angle using the cardboard template and then cut it out. Amazingly, it worked the first fitting. With my trusty rubber mallet, all that was left was to tap it into place, and then happily added the screws along the length and secure it against the pressure of the dirt. Then a little tidy up in the shop, and then it was finally time to fill the boxes with the leftover dirt, getting it ready for the next steps. To finish up, I'd love to have more comments on the header boards before I make a decision on what to do. I was thinking that I'm only using 3-inch screws to hold this together. I should use a galvanized bolt as well. Also, like we spoke last time, I was talking about the addition of a board down each individual box over the center, or should I just put the board all the way down the whole entire area? Sure, by now you've already noticed that there's black plastic inside of all these boxes, and that's to create a barrier between the soil and the treated wood I had to buy. And the reason why I had to buy the treated wood, because I couldn't afford cedar. But I'll explain more about that in another episode. One more thing before we go. I'd like to let you know about the next episode. It's going to be about rubber tiles. and why I like them so much. Well, that's it for now, but I'd like to leave you this final thought. Mistakes are what we do before we actually start thinking. See you next time you visit my little backyard. Good gardening and good health.